everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie, Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
So today we are going to be talking about our toxic book boyfriends. Do you have toxic book boyfriends?
Yes, but now I think I should change my... I don't think I would want him as a boyfriend.
Okay. Do I need to redo that intro at all?
Nope. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be entered in to win our next giveaway on our Road to 1K giveaway. We have the cinch sack, the book, full of goodies in here and swag. So hit that subscribe button and make sure to follow us on Instagram for an extra entry.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about them crazy boys that we love, but in everyday life, we'd probably run the other direction from.
Yeah.
Because, they're toxic. Yes. Yeah. So, all right, you want to start us off?
Sure.
Who's your first toxic book boyfriend, Mandy?
Okay, my first toxic book boyfriend is pretty calm.
Okay.
He's just gonna lie to you and tell you he's with the FBI and he's taking you to Whip Pro, but when he's not.
Oh, it's not too bad.
So my first toxic book boyfriend is Silas from the book called Silas. This is by Lane Hart and D.B. West. So Cora is hired to be a personal chef for this mob boss guy. And while she's working and preparing dinner, the place is raided, people are killed, and she hides in a pantry. While she's hiding in a pantry, somebody comes in wearing a motorcycle helmet so she can't see who it is. And another guy says, just leave her. So that's what happens. They leave. And Cora's kind of freaked out, so she goes into hiding, but basically into hiding like at her house, and she just doesn't leave her house. And the police show up and they basically tell her, look, if you're not going to give us any information on what went down, then we think you must have had something to do with it. So she gives a little bit of information, which she hopes is enough to get the police off of her back, but keep these bad guys from coming after her. Well, the FBI agent shows up, also known as Silas, and says, hey, I'm with the FBI. We have to relocate you. We're taking you to Whip Pro. So she goes with him because it seems legit. He takes her to this beautiful island. He has a house for her. Like, things go really well. So why wouldn't you want this boyfriend who is telling you that he's an FBI agent when he's really not?
He really doesn't sound that bad. I mean, let's be honest here, people. Island, okay? He's a homeowner, all right? I mean,
no, he buys the house for her. See?
You're not making him sound too terrible there, Mandy.
I know, but he lies about who he is. Like, he takes her into Whip Pro.
You can't win them all, okay? Not everybody's perfect.
I know.
Okay. Well, my next book boyfriend is also a homeowner. He might be a paid assassin as well. And he might have been told to kill you, but he's just going to take you and keep you anyway. So it's okay. So that is The Imperfections by Sam Mariano. And so this is about Brantley and Alyssa. So Alyssa is having an affair with, I believe it was Brantley's brother. It's been a few years since I read it. So she's having an affair with Brantley's brother. Brantley is a paid assassin. And some things happen, and Brantley's brother decides that Alyssa no longer needs to be, walking on this earth. And so he tells Brantley to take care of it. So he shows up in Alyssa's bedroom, ready to, seal the deal and get rid of her. And he decides that he can't do that. So because he's told his brother that he would take care of it, and I believe they are brothers. I believe that is the case. He takes her to his place and just keeps her there. Because that's what you do. So, he's He's a homeowner and he's just protecting her. It was actually really good. I've never read a lot of Sam Mariano lately that hasn't done it for me. This one I gave 5 stars to. This one did it for me.
All right. Well, Jessica, my next toxic book boyfriend is a hitman, and he killed your father.
Yeah, not my real one.
No.
No.
In the book.
Yes.
This is what happens. Okay, so this is The Danger You Know by Lily White. This is Ari. He's a paid hitman. This is what hitman. This is what he does. He kills people. He is paid to kill Adeline's father, and he is assured that nobody is going to be home. And he kills Adeline's father, and he's paid to make it look like a suicide. So when he leaves, he sees Adeline. And it's the first time he's ever seen kind of like the impact that happens when he kills somebody. And he sees the 16-year-old girl totally devastated over the loss of her father and finding her dad. And he is just kind of drawn to her. So he begins stalking her. He's super attracted to her, but he stays away and just obsessively watches her. If he has to go on a job, he has his friend obsessively watch her. He saves her from some different situations. So he's kind of like a little bit of a guardian angel. There's a ton of stuff that happens in this book, but really, like, how well is this going to work out when he is a hitman and he killed her dad? Toxic boyfriend right there.
Every relationship has its little bumps in the road. It's okay.
Yeah.
How come you didn't tell me? My AC was on and I just realized it. Did you not hear it?
I don't know. You've been making so much noise over there.
Thank goodness I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so my next book boyfriend, he's a mafia boss. Like, he runs the British mafia. And that's okay because you're a socialite. It's all good. So this is Lord of London Town by Tilly Cole. This is about Arthur Adley. He runs the Adley, what do they call it? The Adley family, I think is what they call it. I can't remember what they called it. But this is about Cheska and Arthur. So Cheska is a socialite, and she meets Arthur when she's 13, and then again when she's 18, and she is supposed to be getting married to somebody else. She's been betrothed to this other person, and she's like the ultimate socialite. And Arthur is supposed to run this big crime syndicate, and she has run into him a few different times. And for them, that is like, there's this instant attraction. There's this just something about them, but they are from 2 different worlds and 2 different sides of the track. And but there's just something about them. Something happens, and Cheska's world implodes, and the person that she runs to is Arthur. And things happen from there. I can't say much more because it gives it away, but this man will kill for you. Okay. And that could be good or that could be bad. But in this world, it is good. It is so good. It may raise red flags, but it is good. So he's got a yacht, but so do you. But it's okay. But he's got a yacht.
Pardon you. I do not have a yacht.
Well, Cheska has a yacht, but so does Arthur. Okay.
I just added that to my TBR.
It's Tilly Cole. I remember when I read this a couple of years, I was sucked into it, could not put it down, dying for more. But she obviously hasn't written more in it yet. But oh, so good. Yeah.
All right. So my next toxic book boyfriend. Is it okay if they start off kind of toxic, but then you're like, wait, thank you, love you, I'm glad?
I think you start to like soften to the toxicity wears on you. It wears you down. It erodes per se.
So my next one is Merrick, which is actually the name of the book. It's Merrick by S. Nelson. And Merrick, he is the president of an MC club. This is very dark and has very graphic on-page abuse, just an FYI. Not by Merrick, though. So Cole Merrick, he decides that he needs to deal with this rival club that's just awful. So what better way to do that than to kidnap the president's daughter? So he does that. He goes in, he kidnaps her. Her name's Sully. He takes her back, and immediately he has a ordained minister on hand, and they legally get married because that's the best way to get back at this MC. But it turns out Sully has been horribly abused, like horribly abused. So him actually doing this is actually helping her so much. And he starts to develop feelings for her. So it starts off as this crazy kidnapped forced marriage situation, but really actually works out well for everybody involved.
Okay.
It was a fantastic series. I absolutely
know.
loved it. I loved this book. It's so good. But when you just think about the fact that he shows up, kidnaps her, and immediately, like, there's no like, hey, this is where you're going to be staying. It's like right in front of the ordained minister, and they're married.
Yeah, that's downloaded onto my Kindle. I will be reading that camping here within the next week or so.
Yeah. You should just get all, I think there's 5. And what I love about the last book in this series is the epilogue does like points of view from the different characters that you've met. So I really enjoyed how they ended that series. And then of course there's spinoffs from it.
Yeah. So my next book boyfriend, he might have murdered your mother, but that's okay. I mean, I said might have. So we don't know for sure. I mean, he might have not. And he does kidnap you. So it's okay, right? It's okay. He's hot. So it's okay, right? Okay, so this is Violet Delights by Jessica Hawkins. This is a trilogy. This is her lesser known trilogy. She's known for several of her other books, but this one needs more love. So this is about this is a mafia cartel, and this is our heroine is it doesn't actually say her name. I cannot remember her name, but his name is Cristiano. But so anyhow, our heroine is in love with two different boys, basically. You have Diego and Cristiano. They're brothers. She believes that Cristiano murdered her mother. She believes that she saw Cristiano murder her mother. She is in love with Diego, the younger brother. She is sent to live in the U.S. and go to school in the U.S. And then she is brought back in time to marry Diego. But just before the wedding, there is an attack. And then she is kidnapped by Cristiano, who is trying to clear his name because he's saying that he didn't murder her mother. And this whole war between the families is unwarranted. And it is this amazing story about them. And yeah, yummy. It is so good. It is one of my favorite mafia stories and mafia trilogies. Go read this one. It is so underrated. It is just so good. Jessica Hawkins can write some good stuff. This is good.
I love Jessica Hawkins.
Yeah, you need to read this one. This one's really good.
Okay. Should we pause while I put that in my TBR?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So my next one, he might be just a teensy-weensy upset with you because you kind of set his house on fire. And you crashed a party.
I mean, we're klutzy.
But now
one of us more than the other.
Hey. So my next one is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. And I absolutely love this book. And looking on Goodreads, it looks like a lot of people really love it. I didn't realize it was as popular as it is.
Oh, yeah, it's popular.
So if you haven't read it, listen to this blurb. If you have, just bear with me for a quick moment. So this is the first book in the Brutal Birthright series. It's Callum and Ada. Ada is from a rival family, and literally she kind of sets the house on fire, during which she has crashed a party. And for some reason, the dads from both sides decide that the best way for them to move forward is for their families to join together and for Callum and Ada to marry. And so this has your mafia. It has your forced marriage or arranged marriage, which is forced marriage. It has a very strong heroine. It has enemies to lovers. It has smut, it has humor. But here's the thing, Callum is kind of a brutal prince, but oh my gosh, he is yummy. And once he kind of starts to come around a little bit, he's quite delightful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Okay.
Let's
Okay, so here's the
think about Callum for a second.
so
Okay.
here's the deal, and I don't think you've read this one yet. Okay, so this book boyfriend, we've actually got two.
Oh dear.
Two. One's a sexy pirate that is hunting you down. He's hunting your ass down.
How are we supposed to take you seriously?
The other one is hunting you down because he's married to your butt. The other one is hunting your butt down because he's a pirate hunter and he wants to take your butt back to be hung at the gallows. But your sexy ass is gonna sway him a different way. So that's Sea of Ruin.
Wait a minute. You gave me Sea of Ruin. It is sitting on my shelf. Is it like a love triangle reverse harem situation?
There's two guys. It is not a reverse harem. We've had this discussion before.
So is it love triangle then? I didn't know how many guys you were talking about.
Not a love triangle.
Okay. Okay.
Read the book.
You know how I feel about love triangles.
It is not a love triangle. It is MFM.
Oh.
Or is it MMF? MFM. MMF. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's about pirates. Okay.
She's a pirate. She's a pirate. Bennett is the pirate, a female pirate. Priest is a pirate, her husband, Priest, and they're separated. And then Ashley is the pirate hunter. He's the captain dude, and he captures Bennett. And Priest is hunting her down. And that's all I'm going to say, because it's been years and years and years since I read this one. I love this one so much. I remember a lot about it, but I don't remember a lot about it. It's just so good. I need to do a reread because, oh my gosh, is it good. Mandy, we could reread this together. But man, talk about some toxic book boyfriends. He's going to get your butt hung. Like, seriously. And not like hung, but like hung. So, yeah, he's a little toxic, but I'll keep him. I'd keep him. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so my next toxic book boyfriend is pretty toxic. And he's toxic. He's toxic in a way where like his life is toxic. He's just made really bad choices. So he's just toxic. But you kind of got to love him because he's been through a lot. Do you know who I'm going to talk about?
No.
Vandal.
Oh.
So Vandal from Vandal by Carrie Ann Cole. This is book number 2 in Ashes and Embers. And poor Vandal, he's been through a lot, but he kind of only has himself to blame a little bit. So this is Vandal and Tabitha. And I feel like I have to tread kind of carefully here so I don't give too much away. But Vandal is responsible, or he was the driver in an accident that killed people, including his own 5-year-old daughter. So as you can imagine, he has spiraled. And he probably wasn't doing the best that he could before his daughter was killed, to be honest. He was kind of a mess, but he loved his daughter and he tried very hard to do right by her. And so he's responsible for these people's deaths and he's kind of spiraled. He meets Tabitha and he doesn't treat her very well. Like, that's a fair assessment, right? Carrie Ann Cole calls it light BDSM, but he does things with her that he likes the control and the dominance. And I feel like at times it bordered on toxic, but I still loved the book. I still really cared for him. I wanted things to get better for him, but he's a mess. A mess. He is a mess.
Yeah, easy a mess. Yeah. Yep. Okay, my
I
last.
don't know if I really convinced anybody to read that book.
It's good. It's really good, but he is a mess.
It's
If you like yourself a broken hero, that would work.
yes.
He's pretty broken.
I need to go back and finish that series. It's the last of Carrie Ann Cole's stuff that I have to read. And I just keep putting it off. But now that she says, Jessica, August 23rd is her hopeful publication date. I'm going to read the rest of these and just sit and wait for her next book.
Okay. All right.
Like a fiend.
Okay.
Hey, tell me.
Right.
Tell
my
me.
very last toxic book boyfriend. Okay, and I have to say, I saw, so after I read this book, because I just read this book this week. And after I read this book, I was looking at
Are we going to hear about Willow River again?
Willow River?
Shallow River.
No, we're not hearing about Shallow River. That was last week, by the way. No. Once I read this book, I was looking at Goodreads to see the reviews. Because I like you, I don't read reviews till after I'm done reading the book. And somebody said, their review literally said, if this is your book boyfriend, you need help. And I was like, accurate. Okay, but here's the deal. No, because if this is our book boyfriends, we're aware of it. We're aware and we can compartmentalize that this is fiction and not real life. And so, no, we probably don't need help. So that's just my little rant that, like, if you can acknowledge that yeah, whatever. Okay, and you done, Sam? It's probably the mailman. Okay, so my last book boyfriend is Lincoln from The Pucking Wrong Number. So this is by C.R. Jane, who we're going to see at Love in Vegas. I read this book this last week. I loved it. It was over the top, friggin' possessive, crazy, nutso amazing. So Lincoln is a NHL hockey player. He is this big hockey star. He's also a billionaire. He was born into money. His dad owns this big company and he's got all the money. And Monroe is our heroine, and she is a foster child. She's out of the system now. She's going to college and working a couple different jobs, trying to make ends meet. She's only able to take so many classes at the college because they're so expensive. But one night she gets a text from this number, and the text says, "I'm so sorry I missed our date. Let me make it up to you." You know, or it's basically like, "How about another chance?" And it's a number she doesn't recognize. And she's like, she texts back, and she's like, yeah, no, basically. And basically she says something very snarky to him, and something about his wrinkled old balls. Like, it just goes back and forth, and come to find out, like, this ends up being her and Lincoln texting back and forth. Lincoln looks up, because the snark, he thinks it's the socialite that his dad wanted him to date, that he missed the date that he had with her, and comes to realize real quickly that this person has a personality. So it's not this vapid socialite that his father wanted him to go on a date with. And so he's intrigued right off the bat. And so he hires a private detective to figure out who it is. And he starts following her. He starts finding things out about her, and he figures out a way to meet her, and then things just kind of snowball from there. He manages to get her to move in with him. He manages to get her to completely rely on him and depend on him, and he does it all in a very sneaky way, because, again, he becomes over the top possessive. He becomes a stalker. He becomes a stalker, and he stalks her to get her to be his. It is so creepy. It is so over the top. It is so crazy. It is so good. I was here for it. All the red flags. All the red flags. Yeah. New book boyfriend. Yay!
All right. There you have it. Some toxic book boyfriends, but definitely excellent books that you need to go check out, whether you want them as your boyfriend or not.
Not in real life, no. No. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us.
Until then, we'll see you in the next video.